You are now watching MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast TV. Chill! Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, one fourth of the Premier Boys Podcast, and your host of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And welcome to another new episode of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast TV, only on YouTube. Hope all is well. And today we got a special guest. We got a life coach in the building. She is a podcast host. She have a podcast show called Ignite Your Power, the Kathy Mao podcast. And we have Kathy Mao in the building. And we're going to talk to her about her being a life coach, her podcast show, mental health, and many more. And y'all already know what to do. Sit back, relax, I'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. And at this time, I have a special guest. She is a life coach. She got a podcast show called Igniting Your Power, the Kathy Mai podcast. And we got Kathy Mai in the building. Kathy, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and welcome to the show.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yeah, and I know I like your podcast show. But we're gonna talk more about when we get to but we're gonna start with, where are you from?
I'm from San Jose, California, from the Bay Area.
Okay, nice. So how are you describing yourself with 3 words?
In 3 words, I say I'm a kind, loving, and sensitive person.
Good choices. What is one thing that you like to do for fun?
I love actually just hanging out with my friends and family.
Nice. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
And what is something that's in your health right now? It could be a song, an album, or even a podcast.
Right now is your podcast.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so, your 5-year anniversary just came up. So, I was just like, oh, I want to show support and love because you did the same for me too. So thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, and I'm happy to have you on the show. So thank you. Now you're part of the podcast family now. So thank you for that.
Yes, love it. Glad to be part of this family.
So now to get to business. So talk about your life journey, the beginning of your life journey. How were you growing up?
It was tough, actually. So my parents were immigrants, and they immigrated here to America to give, themselves a better life. And so I'm an ESL kid. Like English is my second language. So I grew up speaking Mandarin. And I grew up in a very white suburban town. So my family and I were like one of the only Chinese families or Asian families in general in that community. And the funny thing is my parents actually owned a fast food restaurant. So like American fast food. So we sold like burgers, milkshakes. Like the Asian family is selling this in like a white town. So, wow, so I grew up in a small town and I was very picked on as a kid because we were different. And then I didn't speak much, like you would not tell because I talk so much now and I have my own podcast, but I was just a quiet kid in the corner. I didn't want to be made fun of because I didn't know how to communicate really well. So then that already like made me not confident at all. I was so insecure and I just always wanted to feel like I fit in, but that was how my childhood was. And I actually have a twin and then I have 2 older siblings. So we're kind of like a big family-ish, but not as big as other people.
I feel you. And I could relate about being bullied because I was definitely bullied as a kid.
Yeah.
I was bullied because of my speech, because
Yeah.
I had speech problem growing
Oh.
up. So yeah, it was a hard time. But look at me
Yeah.
now. But clearly, look at me
I
now. I know what
know.
you're doing. So
I know.
and you're doing big things too. So
Thank
we
you. Yes.
we we've been through it and we overcame it. That's all that matters.
Yes. I mean, I think
And
that's why we
yeah,
connect too, because it's like
yeah,
we had to overcome this
yeah,
speech and like self-confident things
yeah,
too, which is
yeah.
so amazing. And then like
It
now
is. Yeah,
we all both have our own podcast and now we're just like talking and connecting. And I always feel like things are always there for a reason. So,
yeah. I agree. I
the
agree.
universe connected us for a reason.
That's definitely a fact. That's definitely a fact. But how all that you've been through made you the person you are today?
Yeah, actually, everything that I've been through from like me being a ESL kid and then trying to be different, and then I having me go actually going through infertility and
Mm,
like having endometriosis, and then, you know, um, just depression too. I
yeah,
think it made me so strong and it made me the person that I am today. And at the time going through all of that, I did not like it, but now I'm so appreciative because it showed like I am resilient. I overcame a lot of things that a lot of other people can't,
yeah,
or struggle with. And I feel like I'm just so, so much more confident. And it turned me into this like butterfly. I guess I feel like now I'm a butterfly. And before I was like, in a cocoon. So
yeah,
all that stuff like pushed me to be who I'm supposed to be, which is beautiful.
yeah. It is, and I'm happy that you're killing it now, and you're doing
Oh,
amazing things.
thank you.
Sometimes we just have to go through the dark before we get to the light. So,
Yes.
and I'm happy that you got through it. I gone through it. Everybody
Thank
who
you. Yeah.
were listening
Yeah.
could get through it as well. Yes.
Yeah.
But before we get to the podcast show, you are also a life coach. So,
Yes.
so what made you want to go that route? And tell us what one thing you love about being a life coach, and what's something that you don't like being a life coach. I mean, what challenges, not to say,
Yes.
of the life
Oh, those are great questions. Thanks for
coach.
asking.
I try.
No, really? Yeah. Actually, so I've always loved helping people, and I never thought I would become a coach, a life coach in general, because as an Asian, like growing up as an Asian family, like we're only known to either be a doctor or a lawyer, right? Like just like the prestigious so-called things, and we never got to talk about being a life coach. So I never thought about that, but I always wanted to help other people. And through my infertility depression stage, like from 2019 to 2021, I even went through IVF too. Like, I just felt so lonely that I like didn't want that for anybody else. And so, because in my community of women, like everybody did not have trouble having kids. Like I was literally the only one, and people were popping out babies left and right next to me. And I was like, what? And the crazy part was both my sisters actually conceived once and then had their babies. So I thought that was going to be me, but it was the exact opposite. So through all that dark area of time, I felt so alone. I wanted community and just to help others. And then I found life coaching, and that's where it led me now into helping other people. So it's been a journey,
Yeah, yeah,
which I love. And so one thing I love about coaching is actually like seeing people, like I get to see the transformation that people make. Like,
mm,
they're at their lowest time where they really have struggles, and then just having like, see them blossoming into their butterfly is beautiful. But the one thing I hate about being a life coach, I guess, is like, when you have your own business or being an entrepreneur, it's like you really have to be your own boss, which is not
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
So that's kind of just rough in that sense. Like, that's not being the creative and helping out part, but you just have to be more on the business side, I guess. So that's the one thing I dislike.
yeah. I get it. I know the pushing the brand out there always hard.
Yeah,
It was hard to do too. So I get it. I get it. But
right.
keep helping people because that's
Oh,
amazing.
thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
So you also got the podcast, but what inspired you to start a podcast? What made you want to go that route?
Yeah, so Ignite Your Power, the Kathy Mao podcast actually came about because I wanted to get better at speaking. And, as an ESL kid, like I told you, like I just never thought I would be good at communicating things to myself or just like concepts. And so I just want to be better at that skill. And I felt like a podcast would be a great way to start. And then once I started loving it because then I started helping people. I was able to like give my perspective more. And then it grew into like what it is now.
Nice, nice. So tell us more about Igniting Your Power podcast, the Kathy Mal
Yeah.
podcast. Tell us more about it. Tell us more about it.
All right. Awesome. So like the title, Ignite Your Power. So it's like literally the concept, it attaches to the concept that I made up of the Bliss Soft Life, which is about living a life full of just living in your own power. So when you live in your power, you know that yeah, it's crazy how they both connected. Like I made my podcast first, and then the concept came about after, and then it connected. I was like, whoa, okay, like my higher self or whatever, like the universe or God, like totally set this up for me. So it's beautiful. But when you're in your power and you know, like you're this amazing soul being, and I don't know how spiritual you are, but I'm a very spiritual person. So I totally believe in something higher, something greater. And so I don't know if you believe in that or not, but if not, I believe that, we're here as a soul and just being in this human body, and we forget how powerful we are. We're like this crazy, amazing, like high, powerful vibrational beings. And when you remember that and you unlock your own power, like you get to live such a blissful life, like bliss of like contentment, happiness, like no stress, like, and everything's so much more softer when you're living in your own power because you're not like, hustling or trying so hard to get something. Like, yes, okay, you have to work towards your things, like what you want in life, but you don't have to work so hard where you're so stressed, overwhelmed, or like sick till you're working, or like having to work 2, 3 jobs. Like, no, if you know how powerful you are and you actually do the skills that you're good at instead of doing things that our society tells us to do, I feel like you would be able to strive. Like you are meant to be on a podcast, even though you had your adversities as a kid, but it's like, dude, that's what you're meant to do. So when people find that purpose, it's just so much more easier. Life is so much more happy and content.
Like,
Yeah.
great. I got many things to say. So, first thing first, you already
Yes.
answered the next question. So that's good. So
Sorry, I got carried away.
No, this is good. It's good. But it's funny that you mentioned that because I remember as a kid that there was a woman who was in my junior high school, and she always said that
Yeah.
I was meant to be a speaker, but I didn't know what she meant at during this time. And then years later, I get hearing that same message. Even my mother said that when I was born, that I was meant to be a speaker, and then always wanted to do podcasts. Then years later, I ended up doing it, and yeah, it's long story.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it was just like weird that you said that. It kind of like just come together, I guess you could say.
Right? Isn't that crazy? It's like, you get these messages and then you're just like, what are you talking about? But then like now you see it and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I see it. And that's what's so
Yeah.
beautiful about life, about living like this human experience. It's like, we always get like these signs and messages from like people or something weird happens and you're just like, what? But then, or then like you have a tough time, but then it leads you into like what you're supposed to meant to, like, what you're meant to be doing here on this earth, because our sole purpose, well, we picked this soul, like this body, for a reason. Our soul wants to learn something, so we forget that. So it's like, the universe always gives you messages, and like it's so cool to see it. Right.
And also, also I like your show. I did listen to a
Thank
couple of your
you.
episodes. So yeah,
Nice.
I really
Thank
enjoy.
you.
I just officially subscribed to it. So I'm a fan now. So keep killing
Oh,
your
thank
show,
you.
and I enjoy it. But let my audience know, where can they listen to Ignite Your Power, the Kathy Mal podcast. Where can they listen?
Yeah, you can find me on Spotify, Apple, even on my website at www.kathymao.com. I have all my podcast episodes there too. So
Nice.
I should be everywhere.
And you're also on Good Pod too. I believe you're on the charts now too. So keep
Oh
killing it.
yes.
Yeah.
I know, it's so crazy. That was so fast. I was like, what? Yeah, I was on there. So I don't know. I was ranked like 26th, I think, last week, on like alternative like health or something. So I was like surprised. Yeah.
But that's good. Keep growing there. Keep growing
Thank
there.
you.
So
Thank you.
what been your challenge as a podcaster so far?
I guess just I'm pretty consistent, but I guess just letting my podcast be out there more, like letting more listeners and getting more listeners. Guess
Yeah, that's
that's always all what most of us struggle with, right in the
yeah,
beginning.
yeah. Even 5 years in, I still struggle with that too. So, yeah, that's always a hard part. That's always a hard part. And what is the goal for your podcast? And what message you want to bring to your audience?
My goal is to just reach as many people as I can. I mean, honestly, it's not really about the numbers, it's just about how many people I can help. And my podcast is literally just trying to teach people to really remember who they are, like the and just igniting their power. And we forget how powerful we are. And I just want people to know that they're just special. Whoever, like, don't think that you being different is bad. It's actually a great thing. And so, we all have our own special things about us. So that's what makes us special. And it's what I want people to do: embrace themselves, embrace and do some self love, self care things.
That's a good answer. That is a really good answer.
Oh, thank you.
So, if you had to interview anybody, who would you like to interview? Name your three dream guests.
Oh, yeah, these are good. They would definitely have to be like thought leaders. I would definitely want to interview Jay Shetty. Um, Mel Robbins would be another one. And let's see, the third one. I'm really into this medium. Her name is Marie Manucherry, and she just seems so interesting. And I learn all my spiritual things from her. So I would love to interview her.
Anything possible. Just keep going. Anything possible. Trust me. Anything
Thank
possible.
you.
But as you know, we are in a pandemic. I guess we still in a
Yes.
pandemic. I guess. So how did the pandemic how did the pandemic affect you, and what did you learn from it?
So the pandemic was tough actually. It was tough at first, but I'm actually kind of a introvert, so I like being at home. But during that time, though, the pandemic, I was like going through my infertility journey. So that was a very dark time in my life, but it was great for me because I was able to just focus on me and my husband trying to have a kid. And that year, I had to do like a laparoscopy, like a big surgery to help with my endometriosis. And I like went through IVF at the time and got a miscarriage too. So, I mean, it was just like a lot going on, just this. So it was perfect timing, I guess. So, like I said, like the universe always gives you perfect timings for things if you allow it to. So I think they gave me that chance to just focus and be quiet. So it was great. And I learned, yeah, a lot about myself, about self love, self care. Like a lot of us did too, like about mental health, like
Yeah,
being by yourself, secluded is not healthy.
yeah, agree.
So, you know, and then it just really made me realize like, we can't take the small things for granted, which we did, right? Like just being able to go out and get like groceries, etc. Like, it's so crazy. Or like,
It was.
we were in lockdown, like we couldn't even go outside for a period of time. I was like, what?
Yeah,
So it really taught, I think, the whole world a lesson.
it did. And here in New York was really, really bad. So yeah, it
Oh
was really
yeah.
bad. Yeah, it was really bad here. Yeah,
Oh,
and my own stuff too was bad too. Dealing with
oh
anxiety and
no.
depression and stuff like that. So, but overcame it. Overcame it. It been
Yeah.
it been a crazy time. But good thing you mentioned mental health because that was the next question. So why is mental health so important to talk about and your
Yeah.
challenge in dealing with mental health?
So mental health is so important. I feel like in the Asian culture, we don't talk about mental health. They're like, oh, it's pretty much just like be this perfect kid and just show up being perfect and I don't want to hear anything else, you know? And so we put so much pressure on ourselves and we just always in our minds that we do get anxiety, you know, like we develop anxiety. A lot of us do nowadays too,
Yeah, yeah,
because we're always getting compared to by other people, right? And then like you have social media, it's like easier to compare yourself. So you have like more anxiety. And then we just live in a fast-paced world where which causes way more anxiety as well, right? It's like
yeah,
what's your to-do list? Do 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 boom boom boom. Like, you know, rest is not a thing. But you know, through mental health though, like having to suffer with depression, I understood like, okay, talking about your feelings is so important. Just talking to somebody, you know, like people talking to therapists is like so normal now. I think like we should normalize that. It's nothing weird. Like, you know, we're humans. We need to talk about our emotions. We need to talk about our stress, how to get over it, right? Even talking to coaches help, like getting help is just okay. Like there's nothing wrong with it. I think that's the first thing is to just be aware and then be okay with getting help. And then like, you know, doing things for your mental health, like, you know, going for walks or like just taking care of your body and health. It's just so important. And you know, the holistic approach is what we should all strive for, you know, like the mental, your physical and emotional and spiritual should all like be looked at, not just one area. And I think our society focuses a lot on appearance and like our physical, you know, but I think mental health is one of the I think more important than your physical health, to be honest, to like focus on.
yeah. I agree. And just like you to your committee, our committee was the same way where it don't get spoke about because
Yeah,
and stuff like that. And saying going to therapy is crazy. Go to therapy,
yeah,
but I agree with you. I don't think it's nothing wrong with it. I went to
yeah,
therapy too, especially dealing with
yeah,
depression, anxiety, and everything.
yeah,
And I've been open up about mental health on this show a lot. A lot of guests, we
yeah,
had a lot of guests. So yeah, mental health is definitely important, and we all should talk about it. And I'm glad that I brought you
yeah.
here so we could talk a little bit
Oh,
about it as well. So
yeah. I always love to talk about mental health because, you know, I still believe like it's kind of a taboo topic.
yeah,
I mean, I feel like it's more open about like now, you know, after
yeah,
COVID, but still taboo where it's like, ooh, mental health, like, you know, people are kind of sensitive about it.
yeah,
So the
yeah.
more we talk about a topic, the more it's normalized. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it was sensitive to me, but as I started to open up more about it more, I started
Yeah.
to be more comfortable about it. But yeah,
Yeah.
then here we are. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I know.
yeah. But let's get to brighter notes. Let's get to more brighter notes now. Let's get to more brighter notes. So, what is your dream venture? Something that you always want to do?
I just, let's see, my dream venture. I just want to actually travel around the world with my family and just be able to see what the like the universe or Earth has like, you know, given to us, like natural beauty. I'm not talking about like, you know, I just like love seeing different cultures and just being like immersed into different cultures and life in city and just want to travel the world. But unfortunately, I'm doing the opposite. I'm just staying at home most of the time. But hopefully that will change.
Yeah, I agree. I want to do the same thing. So I have not
Love
traveled
that.
barely.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to do the same thing. I definitely want to do the same thing. Travel all
Yeah,
over.
you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is the first place you want to travel to if you can?
Funny, because my last guest asked me the same question, and
Really?
I'm gonna say the same answer. I'm gonna start with Paris. That's one of my places I want to start.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, that's one of the places I
oh
want to
my
go.
gosh. Yeah, I do want to go to Europe so bad. The funny thing is I was supposed to go during for my honeymoon,
Mm.
but that's when COVID hit.
Oh,
Right when
okay.
like right beginning and then we had to cancel and we haven't been since or we
Well,
haven't been on a trip since COVID.
yeah, well, y'all got to plan that. Y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta plan that. Y'all have to plan that. Y'all have to plan that.
Yeah.
So what other
Yeah.
so what other project you got going on that you had not mentioned yet?
I'm trying to write my book about the
Oh,
bliss of
nice.
life. Yes. So hopefully it will be out by the end of this year.
Oh, nice, nice.
I just keep I kind of keep doubting myself about what chapters and how like in depth I want to be. So I don't know, but it's in the process. It's in the process.
Like when that book come out, I gotta bring it back on the show.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, it'd be such an honor to.
Nice, nice. So, what they have to say for anybody going on the same ride as you, with the life coaching, and the podcast, and everything? Say something inspirational.
Yeah. No, like you can definitely do it. If I can do it, you can definitely do it. Like, don't doubt yourself. Don't listen to your logical mind. Just feel it. If you feel that it's right for you, go for it. Just do it. And we all have your backs. And you can be a part of our community, the podcast community, like I am now.
Nice, nice. So, before you go, we're gonna play a
Yeah,
segment game. We're gonna play a segment game
sounds
called
good.
Five Random Topics. So, I
All
ask you
right.
five topics. You get answer
Excited.
small, long or small. It's up
Okay.
to you. And I will join in on it as well. So, yeah,
Fun.
so,
I'm
so,
excited.
so we'll start with, what is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie. Oh, I like love stories. Let's
Mm.
see. What's a good one? I forgot the title. Some type of love story. What is that? The Notebook. There you
The
go.
Notebook. Yeah, that's a good movie. That's a good
It's
movie.
that simple, but I was stuck. Yeah, The
I
Notebook.
mean, I have many favorite movies, but I'm gonna name a different movie this time. I'm gonna say Hitch. Will Smith.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, that's a funny
Good
movie.
one.
Will Smith, Kevin James,
Yeah.
Eva Mendes. Yeah, that always,
Mm-hmm. That's
that's
a
always
good one.
that's a good one. What is your okay? What is your favorite food?
My favorite food? Oh, this is good. I love all food. If you don't know me, I'm a foodie. Let's see. I guess my favorite would be, man, this is tough. I love everything. Mexican food. I love Mexican food. Like I can always eat a burrito, like a burrito or like, yeah, I think a burrito.
Nice. I love all food as well, but Thai food always been my favorite. It's always been my favorite.
Ooh,
Thai food, yeah, it's always been my favorite.
ooh,
And
good.
what is your favorite fruit?
My favorite fruit? I love Korean pears. They're like
Mm,
super juicy and sweet. Just the Korean pears.
nice. I know for me, I'm gonna say strawberries and grapes.
Those are my daughter's two favorite fruits right now.
Oh, that's nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Name a movie that made you cry.
The Notebook.
um, I'm gonna take it old school. I'm gonna take this old school. Just like any kid cried in this movie. I cried in this movie as a kid. The Lion King.
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, you're right. I did cry at that movie at the movie theater. It was
Yeah, me too.
scary.
Me too.
Yeah, when you're a little kid. Oh, that's right. That's a
It,
good one.
it was. It was. And one last thing. One major goal for 2024.
Um, wait, what was the question? Sorry.
Oh, one major goal for 2024.
Let's see. I guess to actually just finish my book in this
Mm,
in 2024. That is my big goal.
nice, nice. BC, more money and
Yeah.
travel more and travel more.
Oh, those are good. Those are good.
Yeah. But Kathy, thank you for coming on the show.
Oh,
It was a really dope conversation. Thank you for
yeah.
coming on. I look forward to see what you're about to do with your life coaching, your podcast.
Thank
You're
you.
killing it, and I'm gonna keep supporting you because that's really this is a really good
Oh,
show. More people need to listen to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing your book. So I can definitely
yeah.
bring it back for for a future episode and keep thinking. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was such a pleasure. I'm so excited and happy to have met you and just be a part of your community now. So thank you again. It was such an honor.
Yes, and before you go, um, let them always know. Drop your social media where they can find you and let's see your show. Drop everything. This your time.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram. My handle is Kathy.Mou, so KATHY.MOU. And then you can also find me on Facebook at Kathy Mou and TikTok at Kathy Mou without the dot. just Instagram.
And also, where they can look to your podcast?
Yeah, so my podcast, you can find me on Apple, Spotify, and even my website at www.kathyandmaud.com.
All right, there you go. Thank you, and we'll be right back. I just want to take the time to thank everybody for watching the latest episode of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast TV. Thank you to my special guest, Kathy Mal, for coming on the show. Your podcast is amazing. You are killing it. And I look forward to see more things from you. So, Kathy, keep doing your thing. This is only the beginning. And y'all can check out MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast every Sunday for the main series, and every Thursdays for spin-off series Thursdays, where we have shows like A Conversation About Music podcast every first Thursday at 12 p.m., Date Night Talk podcast with myself and Ms. Vanna B every second and third Thursday at 12 p.m., and the Old School Show with myself and the Star Writer Live. You could check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Pods, and many more. You could also check us out on YouTube, Ken, aka MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast on YouTube. Ken, aka MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast on YouTube. You can also check us out on our official website, www.realmrgentlemanlifestylepodcast.com. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast TV. Have a good day or night wherever you're watching this episode. You are now listening to MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast Season 7. Yeah!